Today in the crypto space, we see a bit of a continuation to the downside. Bitcoin right around 67,500, Ethereum right around that $3,500 mark, still desperately looking for support. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins following Bitcoin and Ethereum's lead, slightly grinding to the downside. However, we have some projects that are trying to hold steady: BNB, XRP, Render, Filecoin, and many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to have some real talk about Solana. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. And of course, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. The rest of the market kind of bleeding out, still slow and steady, coming down to the downside. We see Bitcoin 1.5% dip here, struggling to hold support. Honestly, I feel like Bitcoin could be getting a bit of a bounce in the short term to the upside to give us a bit of relief and then potentially give us a confirmation low. Maybe we get a confirmation low that kind of shows us like maybe we're going to get a bounce, maybe we get a confirmation high, a lower high, that we're kind of, rolling over bigger picture dips. We got to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. Ethereum is pretty much, also bleeding out, just slow and steadily. It's down 4.5%, give or take. And of course, it's all based on the frothiness that we see in this market. Now, the question is, what's happening with Solana? Obviously, I want to take a look at Solana's chart. We'll have a bit of a chat on Solana. But what we want to really look at is how this general market is, basically dealing with the Bitcoin sell-off. It's not a big one. We got to understand in the last 7 days, it's only 7.5%, give or take. Ethereum is taking a bigger dip, twice as much, 14% dip. It is a little bit more heavy. We expect the altcoins to bleed out a little bit more. But look at Solana. It's still up. In the last 7 days, it's still grinding to the upside. In fact, it's up 35% in the last 7 days. The overall network, the overall Solana ecosystem is growing, and it's off the back of the meme coin projects. Right now, Solana is doing really good. And what Solana right now is reminding me of is the old BNB days, the Binance Smart Chain days on PancakeSwap. And the reason why is because Solana's gas fees are so cheap, and it's a lot of less barriers to entry for individuals that want to get in with a small bag. It's very easy. The gas fees are cheap, so you can get in and get out, buy those meme coins, flip them for profit, and get out very easily. So this is reminding me of the BNB Binance Smart Chain days on PancakeSwap. And you know what? It's a healthy time, obviously, to make tons of gains, and obviously to make a lot of losses if you're into the volatility, guys. It's very important that you understand risk management. Solana is one of the up and coming chains out there. As you can see, it actually passed BNB, Binance, the Binance chain, the BNB chain, obviously showing us a lot of strength. The market cap right now is a lot stronger than it was before, given the fact that we see that the price has reclaimed previous price action. It's at right around that $200 mark. Really healthy for Solana. But ultimately, what do we expect for Solana? What can we expect for the bull run? And ultimately, is it the right time to be buying the dip? We'll be looking at the charts very shortly. We'll look at an overall plan. Now that we got an understanding of where Solana is in position in the market, you have to understand that Solana could continue within the time frames that we look at within this bullish sentiment. We could definitely see Solana continue to the upside. Okay, so this is something to consider. Let's continue going down the market, and then we'll get back into the Solana narrative in a second when we look at the chart. BNB coming down to lower levels. What else do we have here? AVAX is another one that is promising, given that we see a lot of the capital flowing into the larger cap cap altcoins, look at AVAX right now showing strength, 29% to the upside in the last 7 days. And of course, we have a lot of the gaming projects jumping in on the AVAX ecosystem. It's almost like AVAX is specializing for gaming, which is pretty interesting here. So very good stuff here for AVAX, a large cap. All of a sudden, we want to see Cardano wake up. We want Cardano to wake up, but with a 16% dip in the last little while, it's not looking good. Dogecoin as well, and we keep on going down. You can see the cookie cutter type of price action. All of them are pretty much the same. Matic, Uniswap, Near Protocol is coming down a little bit, still within structure, but still down 15% for today. We have Aptos grinding away, trying to hold up desperately. ICP coming down, Filecoin, and the list keeps on going down. Either Render has been super bullish. Maybe it's a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Render maybe speaking at the conference, the NVIDIA conference today, so doing pretty good there. And BitTensor Tau doing pretty good in the big picture. Since the summer, BitTensor has been grinding, and a bit of a pullback is actually due. So you know what, BitTensor, Render, if it gets a pullback in the short term, so what? We're up significantly on both positions, and you can see the rest of the market is showing us a continuation to the downside, you know, in the short term. Is this retracement done? And what else do we have? Maker looking a bit okay, but rolling over in the immediate short term. It's up 17% in the last 7 days, but one of the only projects that are basically going upwards out of nowhere, doing its thing. Phantom, you know, had a bit of confusion earlier on, you know, was the network you know, having issues, but it's still kind of going sideways. 8.5% in the last 7 days, looking pretty good, but lots of red here, guys. Personally speaking, I'm not running into buying the dip just yet. I want to see what's going on here with the rest of the market. I want some critical levels to be, you know, basically hit. I want them to be broken, and then maybe I'm interested. Look at Jupiter, the DEX aggregator for Solana. You know, one of the hottest projects out there right now, one of the best swaps right now, places to swap your Solana coins. And Jupiter right now is still grinding, 86% to the upside in the last 7 days, 10% just for today in the last 24 hours, and great stuff, right? Now, the question is, again, is the Solana ecosystem overvalued in the short term? Big picture, bull run style, I do believe that, you know, Solana has some great opportunities, no doubt. But when I be getting into a heavy position right now on Sol or even Jupiter, in my opinion, guys, right now, you're potentially going to become exit liquidity for a short-term correction, especially if Bitcoin starts coming down and continues showing weakness. Solana, although I am bullish, Jupiter, I am bullish. However, if Bitcoin does come down for a bigger retracement, a pre-halving dump, the reality is neither Solana or Jupiter will withstand that such price action. If anything, we'll come down for a bit of a retracement and then be able to buy the dips at slightly lower levels. And let's continue going down, and then we'll look at what kind of levels we could expect here for Sol. And of course, if Sol comes down, expect Jupiter to come down for a bit of a dip as well. I'm just not a big proponent of buying highs. I'm just not interested in buying the tops, right? You know, becoming exit liquidity is the worst for a trader. So the best thing to do is give it some time. You know, if you miss out on a Solana pump, if you have no investment just yet, and if you haven't bought in to the Solana ecosystem just yet, I understand the issue is that you want to FOMO in. You want to be a part of the team. You want to be able to make those gains. But the only issue right now is that you could be buying the tops. And we have a lot of other projects that are in a nice, healthy retracement that were super bullish weeks ago. And for some reason, individuals are not looking at them, right? Pith is still looking good, 20% to the upside in the last 7 days. CFX is still doing okay, you know, holding steady, trying its best to withstand the negativity. We have some of the AI projects are definitely retracing. You know, that's obviously look at Render and Tau and many others coming down slightly. I'm interested in Ribbon Finance. Nice little dip, 14% in the last little while. I want to see if I can get a position on that one. I have some others that I'm focused on, but generally speaking, guys, just a general consensus of this market. The market is dipping while we have Solana still rising. Yes, that looks bullish, but that's a deviation, right? That is basically a divergence. At any moment, Solana, the negativity on Solana could kick in, and then eventually you start looking at that you've bought the top, which is a bit of an issue. video. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, and I want to make sure that we look at Bitcoin first. So let's do that. Yeah, Bitcoin right now is looking very, very frothy. You know, definitely at the top of the range, doing its thing. You know, is it going to get rejected? It kind of did get rejected already. If you look at the weekly, that looks like a nice blow off top. The reality is blow off tops are not the greatest look, especially when you're looking at candlestick pattern formation. Now, blow off top, bit of a wick, yeah, a bit of an indecision candle as well, because it looked like a spinning type of top scenario. It does look like it might want to roll over on the weekly. Now let's look at momentum. Very overbought, no signs of divergence just yet, and we see the EMA still looking okay here on the MACD. So what could we expect on the weekly? Maybe a continuation, but what's going to happen on the daily? What's going to happen on the 4 hour? We could definitely come down for a bit of a retracement. Let's quickly go on to the daily quickly, see what's going on. A bit of a dip, and we got a bit of a nice bounce right off the 20 EMA right here, the exponential moving average on the daily, which is a nice level of support. If we get a nice little bounce and we come back up, what I'm going to be looking for is a confirmation high. Are we going to get a double top, which is bearish, especially with the bearish divergence that we're forming right here on the daily? Are we going to make a lower high, confirmation high? A lower high is not a good look either. It suggests pivot point, right? So that way, you know, we get in, we get out based off of the confirmation. And in this way, we can start de-risking even heavier. Guys, I've been taking profit across the board. This is my third de-risking wave, and I do it in waves, 10% at a time. I am de-risking as we speak, taking a bit of capital off the top on some of my major gainers, and this way I have some capital reserved, raising capital to buy the dips if we do come down. We could see on the daily the MACD is not looking good. EMA is crossing, red histogram bars to the downside. It's likely that Bitcoin continues to the downside in the immediate short term. If it doesn't get a nice little bounce off of this 20 EMA, we have the 50, we have this horizontal support at about 53,800, give or take, to about 51. Guys, this is the zone that I'm expecting a strong bounce if we do continue coming down, and that's what I'm waiting for, and that will potentially bring oversold conditions for the Bitcoin price. Oversold, what it means is that maybe we could go sideways here for a little while, let the yellow moving average catch up to the RSI, and then finally get oversold, which means coming all the way down to these levels. Now, if that does happen on the daily, guys, expect the pre-halving dump. It is going to happen if that happens. So a bit of relief up maybe, or sideways price action so that the yellow and the purple can, you know, catch up to one another, and then finally start rolling over to the downside. You know, if that happens, guys, oversold conditions brings you the best opportunities. Now, for that scenario, you need to have cash on the side. You need to have a bit of dry powder. But what about if we get overbought again? What about if we get a bounce to the upside? If we do get that bounce, that's critical levels again, where we should be de-risking, guys, especially if we make that lower high on the price action. That lower high is going to give us that confirmation that we need to start getting out, right? It started to look like a head and shoulders formation type of thing, right? Inverse cup and handles. These are the way things kind of form. So let's keep an eye on that. On the 4 hour, you can see the complex pattern that is being built here. You know, head, multiple shoulders type of thing. Does look rollover, like it does look like it wants to roll over. The MACD didn't get oversold yet, not even on the 4 hour. So maybe we got a bit of relief right here. Maybe we do come down and get oversold, and that's when we might want to go into a long position on the 4 hour, understanding that the long position needs to be quick in and out, because if we get rejected on the previous high or make that confirmation high, that lower high, we want to protect the gains if we get into that long. I got into a quick long position and exited my position last night right around here, and I'm happy with that quick scalp. That was decent. Now I'm interested in, again, if we get another confirmation low, a higher low, maybe we get that pivot point to the upside, and the next target would be right around 71,300, give or take, and I would de-risk over there as well. And that way, you know, I'm exiting my positions just in case we get that rejection with that, you know, confirmation high, that lower high. Honestly, it's about, right now we should be looking at patterns, structure. Structure is important. Market structure right now is key, right? Because we're not getting any indications. Look at the volatility on the 4 hour, not overbought, not oversold. The MACD looks a bit indecisive. It's kind of stuck in the middle. Maybe get a bit of an expansion phase here, where we get to, you know, to the bearish control zone a little bit more. It all is possible. And at this level, I'm not really interested in trading Bitcoin, to be honest. And in fact, I'm kind of holding off for altcoin buys as well. Going long is a bit dangerous at the current moment. I would like to see a bottom on Bitcoin first, and it looks like Bitcoin's working on it, so that would be great. And if I can get some, double-digit dips on altcoins, I would be happy to start scaling in once again. Guys, we've been scaling in on a lot of the altcoins in the last little while, but I've also been taking significant amount of profits and letting you guys know on the Discord that I've been taking rounds of profit. Okay, so be aware that when things get frothy, it's time to get defensive and still start looking for buy the dip opportunities at low levels. You want to buy those bottom dwellers. All right, guys, let's take a look at Sol. Guys, I just want to start off by saying, guys, I'm super bullish on Sol. I bought early on Sol. I bought Sol at $8, $10, and $12, all into here, and I have videos to prove it. Now the question is, what should we be doing after so many individuals bought in at these levels, including myself, where we are in some good profit? Why wouldn't we want to protect the gains? The reality is we got a nice retracement right here, and we got another extension. Now, wouldn't it be smart now to protect a bit of those gains? Well, of course it is, especially that we're getting an indication that there's a bit of froth there in the market. Now, let's go to the weekly for a second. And I'm glad that we talked about Bitcoin, because we saw where Bitcoin is right now. It got rejected right around this level. It made a slightly higher high, and it got rejected, and it's testing previous highs, which is previous bull run highs. Ethereum is not nowhere near that level, and neither is Solana. Neither is Binance, BNB. So we're looking at the larger cap altcoins, essentially, as an indication that maybe there is a bit of a cycle happening where people are taking profits off of Bitcoin and cycling them into large cap altcoins. And this is why I think that we're seeing Solana, AVAX, BNB now wake up. It's because ultimately people are looking for volatility while still maintaining a healthy risk to reward ratio. But in my opinion, obviously not financial advice, guys, this is a bit frothy. No matter what, the Solana network is hot. I get it. Gas fees are great. Lots of meme coins, lots of degen plays, lots of gains to be made. And I think Solana has a really bright future. But getting into a fresh long on Solana on the base token, base coin, Sol itself, is very, very risky. Now, what will happen if Sol gets a rejection here? Probability, statistically speaking, it could happen. We're reaching all-time highs. The volume right now is diminishing. The psychological level of reaching a previous high is definitely there. And as Bitcoin is retracing in the last little while, who's to say that we can't finally see Solana get exhausted after huge moves to the upside? Now, I just want to refresh. Guys, percentage-wise, Solana is up significantly. Let's do a quick measurement. From its low, where the majority of people got in, we're up 850%. Okay, just think about that, right? So ultimately, it's about de-risking. It's about protecting the gains. And individuals that got here at the bottom are going to look for indications of weakness. As soon as they get an indication of market-wide weakness, they are going to take profit. Guys, if you're considering yourself a trader, the only way you can realize those profits is by taking it off the table and de-risking. And this is the nature. And this happened before, a bit of de-risking. Now, what if we get a bit of a de-risk right here? Bit of a retracement, then you can get back in on a bit of a dip. Now you might be saying, you know what, I'm not willing to take the chance. What about if we get at the dip and overnight it starts running again? Guys, that's the name of the game. I get it. But reality is, nobody has ever gone broke taking profit. But a retracement all the way back down to about $120 is always possible. And this is what I say here, guys. When you see a lot of individuals just pouring money into meme coins and basically making tons of profits without any effort, it starts to show you a sign of frothiness. Not to say that we can't continue that eventually, but we need a bit of a break. And it's healthy to think that way. Okay, so profit taking. Now, market conditions, Bitcoin's frothy, Bitcoin coming down. Imagine Bitcoin coming down to about 53K. Sol could come down. Where would I be interested in buying? I'm looking at right around this level. If we come down here to about 120, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because I bought down here. Remember, I have exposure, and you have to get into the mindset of those individuals that bought early. If you're only thinking about the now, you're ignoring all the psychological emotions that people have that bought in at this level. They're becoming defensive, including myself. I'm interested in taking profit because if it comes down, I'm interested in buying the dip at $120. Why? Because I have proof of support. I know at this level we have market participation. Look at the volume profile, it does pick up a bit. We have a volume gap that suggests there's a bit of emotions in this level that could support another re-entry into the Solana ecosystem. And I'm happy to be buying Sol once again. Now, what about if Sol continues going to the upside? Guys, there's opportunities throughout this market. That is the reality. How much more gains do you expect Solana to do? Look at its market cap. Is it going to do a 10x? I highly doubt it. Right? Is Bitcoin going to do a 10x? Is Ethereum going to do a 10x? Is Sol going to do a 10x? I don't really think so. So the reality is that if you're going to double or triple or even quadruple your Solana bags, I'll guarantee you that on a dip, you will be able to get into Solana-based projects that are built on the Solana network, that are micro cap, lower cap, mid caps, that will definitely outperform Solana itself. So what we should be doing right now is still be bullish on the Solana ecosystem, no doubt. But look for those smaller projects with great fundamentals, and that will help you still maintain your position within the Solana ecosystem and the bullishness that Solana offers. However, still give you exposure to some volatility to the upside. Solana growth-wise is very mature at this current moment. Its market cap is massive. It's now ranked third, excluding stable USDT. It's ranked third. That is pretty large. How much more X's do you expect Solana to do? In my opinion, guys, if Solana does another 3-4x, it's done its job, and it would also depend on more capital entering the market. Look at the total market cap of the crypto space. We're hovering around 2.7 trillion dollars. If we get to about 5 trillion, how much more capital could Solana get out of that? Just think about it, guys. I think Solana at the current moment, it has done a great job. And if you happen to buy in early, this is time to enjoy the gains and start looking for Solana projects that are at the bottom of the range, coming out with great fundamentals, great tech that can offer real world solutions to problems. And that way you can keep your money working for you. I think Solana at this point will not give you the gains that you're looking for going forward. However, preparing for a short-term dip, both on Sol and Solana ecosystem projects, is not a bad idea, guys. Take those profits. If I've offered you any value in this video, guys, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. And of course, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.